Hello and welcome to the ACE Assessment Centre workshop with EY. In this workshop, we will guide you through practical guidance, tips and tricks to help you excel in any assessment centre. Whether you've been invited to an EY assessment centre or you're curious about how assessment centres are run, these insights are designed to help equip you with the tools that can help you succeed. So, let's embark on this journey together at ACE Assessment Centre. My name is Megan Brooke and I work as part of our early careers team, specifically in assessment and selection. I also put together employability and skills workshops like this one to help students navigate our recruitment process. Here's a quick overview of EY recruitment stages. At EY, our assessment centres for students aim to identify talent among many candidates, ensuring everyone has a fair chance to showcase multiple skill sets. This process evaluates your competencies, giving EY a well-rounded view of your potential while offering you insights into EY as a company. We're hoping that you'll walk away with a great experience. Our commitment to inclusivity means we aim to see as many people as possible that fit the criteria for the role that they've applied to. The more people we see, the better representation we have. And on that note, it's important to understand that EY assessment centres are designed to measure candidates against our own competency frameworks, which we call EY core strengths. You will not be assessed against each other, so rest assured you can make friends while meeting other candidates in our assessment centre. In the workshop, we will go through an overview of EY assessment centre format, understanding our EY core strengths framework, understanding the group activity, which you can practice in your own time, an example of an individual written activity, and some key takeaways. We'll finish off with some useful links to help you and your continued learning. Sound good? So let's begin. EYX is short for EY Experience Day, which is our version of a term you may be more familiar with, assessment centres. We want to ensure every person that is considered for an early careers role has at least one in-person stage to meet us. However, it's important to note that not all assessment centres across different companies will have the same format, so try to keep an open mind. Within this webinar, we'll walk you through each specific component and tips and tricks on how to prepare for an EYX. I will go through what to expect at your EYX. There are a few assessed and non-assessed activities that you will need to complete. Candidates will need to complete an assessed group activity where you will be asked to work with others in a group on a project for a fictional company. Then you will need to complete an individual activity, which is also assessed. This is where you will work by yourself to showcase your numerical and written strengths. There will also be some non-assessed elements in the day, such as Meet EY. This is where you'll learn more about life at EY by meeting some of our current grads or apprentices and learn about their experiences by asking them questions. Two different EYX formats. I will go through these with you in more detail in the next slides. So here is a brief outline of the half-day EYX format. As you can see, there are two half-day EYXs to take place. You'll be invited to either an AM or a PM session, with an interview within 1 to 3 weeks following your EYX. We believe this format means that candidates' experience is fair and consistent across all service lines. We've done all we can to reduce inefficiency from EYX to interview, and candidates can better focus with only 2 activities to prepare for. The majority of our EYXs will be pre-scheduled dates, mostly arranged pre-January. If you're invited to our EYX, you will be notified which date is available for you. Since your interview will be on another day, you may be asked to travel twice. For example, your EYX is likely to be at one of our larger offices, Birmingham, Manchester, Edinburgh and London, and your interview is likely to be held at the local office that you've applied for. London-based EYXs can have between 72 to 144 candidates, whilst other large regions could have between 24 to 48 candidates. It's important to note that not everyone in your EYX would have applied for the same role. There may be differences in service lines, location and job role. Remember, individual breaks in between group and written activities are not assessed, and they're a fantastic way to network and relax. Most EYXs are scheduled in person, but there may be some virtual ones. Most interviews will be on a separate date, and we'll aim for this to take place between 1 and 3 weeks following your assessment day. This is our usual format for the majority of candidates: graduates, interns, apprentices, industrial placements across all service lines, although UKI Assurance graduates and industrial placement candidates will have a full day EYX with interviews on the same day. So let's see what that might look like. Here is a brief outline of a full day EYX. You may be split into groups. Everyone attends the welcome session and you will then be guided towards a group task or written activity. After lunch, you will then be taken for your interview or Meet EY activity before we regroup and close the session. Meet EY is not assessed, it's your opportunity to meet graduates or apprentices at EY and ask and find out what it's really like to work at EY. For the remainder of this session, we'll walk you through a working example of group and written activities so that you feel fully prepared for both. First, we're going to cover the EYX group assessment, what it is and how to prepare. The group assessment is an opportunity for EY to assess how you handle working with others. The ability to work with internal and external stakeholders is critical to working at EY. You and up to 6 others will be assessed by 2 EY colleagues. During this assessment, you'll be asked to discuss a topic. When you're invited to an EYX, take a moment to check your portal to see if there's any information given to you that will aid you in your discussion. The 2 main questions we get are, how do you stand out in a crowd and what are you looking for? So let's tackle the first question, standing out from the crowd. The purpose of the group discussion is to get to know who you are, what research you've done, how you process information and demonstrate your strengths. To do this, we need you to engage as much as you can during the sessions. This means being in the moment and contributing. Some of you may feel more confident doing this than others, and some of you, it might take a bit of practice. If you do notice others in your group are a bit quieter, why not ask them a question to bring them into the conversation? If you're someone who doesn't mind taking centre stage, take a moment to step back and see if you can encourage differing opinions. The more you discuss, the more ideas you'll have to share. The second question we get asked most often is, what are you looking for? Or in other words, how do I demonstrate my strengths? At EY, we take a strengths-based approach to our assessments, which we measure using our EY Core Strengths framework: accountability, integrity, motivation, resilience, agility, curiosity, relationship building, and collaboration. Our strengths-based framework is designed to help us understand within a fair and consistent framework what energizes and motivates you, as well as what you're good at. Take a moment to write down your strengths. This can be something that you're naturally good at or something that you do often. Some strengths you'll know about and some you might not be aware of just yet because maybe you haven't had the opportunity to explore them. Our assessments are designed to draw out some of those strengths so that we can get a good idea of your potential. So let's have a look at one of our EY core strengths from our framework in a bit more detail. Relationship building. This means being a good team player, someone that knows how to build standing rapport even in a short space of time. Can you think of a time when you've worked well as a team and delivered great work together? Can you find the opportunity within the group assessment to build on your networks, find common ground with others and listen to your peers in order to broaden your own knowledge, whilst communicating your own opinions and maintaining focus of achieving a common goal? That's enough about theory. I'm someone that learns through practice. So please take a screenshot of this scenario and practice yourself as if you're in a group. It's important to note that this practice will not come up as part of your EYX, but it will give you a feel ahead of the real thing. A real group assessment at EY for graduates is typically 45 minutes. 5 minutes to read through material, 10 minutes to share, and 30 minutes to discuss. A real group assessment at EY for apprentices is usually 60 minutes, which may have a longer reading period, and you may also be asked to choose from topics. My advice to you, keep an open mind. Bring a notepad, pen and highlighter, although resources will be available for you. If you need more time to read, please let us know in advance so that we can accommodate. Practice reflecting and self-assessing with your peers. At the end of the time allocated, take a moment to practice self-reflection. Seeking support from friends, peers, family and mentors is a really effective way to help prepare you for your group assessment whilst building your self-awareness. Ask yourself, how did you find the task? What did you do well and what did you find challenging? Practice can help boost your confidence ahead of the day and ease some nerves. My top tips to leave you with are: be respectful to others, including not speaking over people. Practice online assessments using CAP assessments and jobme.com. Read all of your pre-assessment material. Engage during activities and be in the moment. And don't be afraid to voice your thoughts and opinions. Lastly, think about this. If this were a live or real task, which one of our EY core strengths would we be assessing? Now over to the individual written assessment. The setup of an individual written assessment at EY is usually 45 minutes. 25 minutes for a review of information and answering numerical questions, and 20 minutes for a written follow-up response to the information that you've been provided. An assessor will be present to help as timekeeper, and it's likely to give you a halfway call out and a 5-minute call out before the end of the session. On an in-person EYX, your written assessment will take place in a separate area. Whilst candidates will be working individually, you may be sat next to another candidate. A pre-set up laptop will be provided with the relevant links so that your written answers can be typed. We're not assessing handwriting, although we will be looking out for grammar, spelling, professional tone and understanding of material. If you're taking your EYX written assessment virtually, the relevant links will be provided and a live assessor will be available to time the activity. You'll be asked to have your cameras on during the assessment, but you can place yourselves on mute. You can expect some reading information, instructions that you can follow from a survey type format to complete and submit, a numerical and written part, both based on reading information. My advice is to read material carefully, especially before tackling answers. The instructions will also be read out to you by the assessor before the session starts. Some things to keep in mind during the individual assessment are stay calm and complete the assessment in a quiet and comfortable environment. If you are virtually set up, then look at your webcam in advance, as this would need to be on at all times throughout the assessment. Familiarise yourself with the MS Teams platform, making sure that your name is clear when you join. What will be behind you during your video conversations, and could this distract you? We understand that you can't always help your virtual background, as we're all working from home too, but try and have a clear space behind you and make sure that you're somewhere calm and comfortable and where you won't be disturbed. Maybe consider telling other members of your house, if relevant, about your assessment centre, or pop a note on your door to help try and prevent any disturbance. If your assessment centre is in person, ensure you're familiar with the journey and consider traffic and last-minute delays. For the numerical element, this will be a similar level to your EY1 assessment, and you can practice on our Preparation Plus platform if you need a refresher. We'll focus on the written element. Use the techniques learned with essay writing, i.e. point, evidence, linking to the topic. Let's go through that in a bit more detail. For the purpose of this session, I've designed the individual assessment practice to complement your group assessment practice. Similar to the group assessment, being able to clearly, effectively and succinctly communicate your thoughts will help you succeed in this assessment. Some general tips. We're looking for candidates that are in the know. We're a global company that works across industries and sectors, so having people in our teams who have an affinity for current affairs, global trends and market activity is really important. Today, this extends to staying attuned to technological innovations too, as we pride ourselves on offering our clients the best tech solutions for their needs. Attending today's session is a great first step in your preparation. However, it's even more important to do individual research on EY and to practice. Work your way through these questions that I've provided further prompting questions to guide you to provide more detailed thinking. You may find that part of your answer could be answered using the STAR method, articulating a situation, describing your task at hand, what actions you did and what your team made, and what was the result, and then what would you do to improve and how might you plan for your improvement. Try it and see how you get on. Part of your self-reflection in the previous slide, I asked you to think about, if this were a live or real task, which one of our EY core strengths could we be assessing? Let's take a look at these again and think about what EY core strength you might excel at and which may require some work. How would you go about improving? Personal ownership or accountability. Evidence of your ability to take clear accountability for tasks, displaying a highly responsible approach, taking clear initiative for the direction and progress of the group and ensuring that they focus on the outcomes required. Adaptability, your ability to adapt to changing requirements, taking a highly flexible approach throughout the exercise, reacting calmly and effectively when presented with new or conflicting information, adapting your proposals in response to this. Agility or learning agility. Your ability to grasp new information quickly, demonstrating a clear ability to quickly understand the requirements of the task, accurately simulating the key factors involved in each initiative and using this to form effective conclusions. Curiosity, your ability to seek out new information, display a naturally curious approach, demonstrating in detail how you will source further information to support the development of your initiative. Resilience, evidence of your ability to work effectively under pressure, demonstrating a highly resilient approach in the face of challenge, standing firm to your assertions in order to convince others of their value. Relationship building, providing strong and comprehensive evidence of your ability to build positive relationships with the other group members, identifying several relevant stakeholders to engage with to deliver the initiatives, providing detailed suggestions of how to do this, considering a range of stakeholder needs and making effort to ensure that these are met. Run through some tips and helpful resources with you. For a deeper dive, you might want to include elements of self-research. Can you build on any of these points into your self-reflection piece? Research. Research EY, your role, your service line. What is happening in the market? For example, if you apply for assurance, what is happening in the assurance sector? Research our competitors and what they're doing. Give examples. Try and give real-life examples which could bring your written thinking to life. Real-life examples may come from lots of different types of situations. So school, college, extracurricular activities, part-time jobs, volunteer work, but you can also use the PESTLE methods. Take a moment and see if you can include any political, economic, sociological, technological, legal, or environmental thinking and ask yourself, how can you build on your original answers using the STAR and PESTLE techniques? Final tips for you. Please do let us know if you need any adjustments or support. We don't need to know the reason, we just need to know the adjustment that you require. This can be done on your candidate account or by contacting our help team on adjustments@uk.ey.com. Please do let us know in advance as we cannot accommodate changes after an EYX has taken place. And please do also let us know about any dietary requirements in advance. The second tip is dress for your day. Please dress professionally. This can be smart and comfortable. You don't need to buy a new outfit. And please also prepare to arrive 15 minutes early. Stay present. Keep your phone turned to silent to help you stay present and help us maintain the integrity of our process by ensuring that you do not share questions or answers with anyone. EY is here to help. Let one of our friendly people know if you need help. Whether it's a quiet space for a breather, you need to know where the loo is, or if you have any questions. We're here to support you and to ensure that you have a great experience. And lastly, take a break. Use the breaks to stay refreshed. Break time is to get to know other EY sessions, and you won't be assessed on these. Practice introducing yourself before the event and use it to meet others on the day. Congratulations! You have now completed ACER Assessment Practice Centre with EY. We hope you enjoyed this session and are inspired to take the practice elements away with you to have a go in your own time.